seat, whatever that looks like. We'll start to just sort of drop in, and we'll take 3 clearing breaths together just before we do anything. So take an inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. Yeah, 2 more times like that. One last time. Eventually start to land, and right away maybe you're already noticing any thoughts or physical feelings coming to your mat. And just allow those to land and be a part of this experience. Eventually we'll start to soften the gaze. Maybe your eyes are closed. Find a little bit of length in the spine as you inhale. So crown of the head rises to the sky. And as you exhale, the hips sit down toward the earth. So you might continue that awareness as you inhale, finding that sense of length. As you exhale, that sense of heaviness through the seat, through the legs. And as you cultivate this awareness of the breath, we'll start to add on. So maybe in addition to that up-down feeling, you can start to inhale and feel that expansion out in all directions. And then as you exhale, feel that drawing in through center. So maybe this naturally invites the breath down to the belly. And if it didn't naturally go there, maybe you're consciously adding that on. And we'll continue like this for a few rounds of breath. Maybe every exhale you can soften your eyelids, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Any parts of the body that start to talk to you. Invite softness there. On your next inhale, draw hands to heart center in honor of this practice. So for this month, we've been theming practices for Mother Yoga around the Bhagavad Gita. And in this text, the theme that resonated for me was this idea of surrendering practices to something higher as a way to sort of release any expectations of an outcome. So whenever we're working in the yoga practice, sometimes we really want to strive to have a certain way of looking or feeling or just being in general. But maybe for today, your intention can just be to kind of sit with what is, and rather than having it need to be a certain way, just being aware of what's there. And if you had a different intention you want to layer on, feel free to bring that to mind. And if you'd like, join me in the sound of 3 ohms in honor of that intention. So full exhale first, full inhale to start. As you exhale, start to bring your hands down to your knees. Blink your eyes open. And we'll start to move through seated cat and cow. So hands are on your knees and we'll draw the heart forward. You can roll your shoulders up to the ears, back and down. And as you exhale, start to draw your tailbone under, chin draws to chest. Feel that space between your shoulder blades widen. So move like this with your breath. Maybe along the way you're noticing any sticky spots of tension. See if this fluid movement can kind of iron that sensation out. And eventually, if you want to add on, we'll start to circle over to the right. So I'm mirroring you here. As you exhale, lean back over to the left. And inhale, draw your heart forward. So drawing circles with the torso in space. And this doesn't have to look any particular way. Move in a range of motion that feels interesting and good for your body. Eventually we'll reverse direction, so draw the heart forward over to the left, back, and to the right. Eventually start to make your circles a little bit smaller, smaller and smaller until you eventually find stillness and center. Just take a few breaths into that practice, the way that made your body feel, your mind feel. And we'll start to circle the arms out and up, reach up. As you exhale, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over. Find your side bend over to the right. As you exhale, we'll start to draw that left hand down and walk yourself forward through a forward fold over your legs and over to the left side. So that's the slow version. And if you want to, you can make that a little more of a sweeping motion side to side. So side bending over to the right, sweeping in through forward fold and over to the left. So do this a few rounds of breath. And the next time you're over to your right side, let's find a pause there. Take a couple of breaths to refine. So see if that left hip can be a little heavier. Soften your shoulder. You can have your head kind of like a bobblehead in space so the neck is relaxed. And exhale, sweep it forward and over to the left side. Same thing here. That right hip will sit down nice and heavy. Left or right fingertips can reach over to that left side as your shoulders soften. And that same sense of the neck just releasing. And when you're ready, start to exhale, fold forward through center. So we'll fold over the legs so you can walk your hands as far forward as feels comfortable. So maybe that means that you stay a little more upright. Maybe that means that you can sort of drape your torso over your legs. And start to walk your hands back toward your legs. We'll uncross the legs and cross them the opposite way. And same thing here, we'll fold forward, walk the hands forward, and just a few breaths into wherever you're feeling this. Soften the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Breathe into the space of your back body, maybe even the areas of the hips that feel sensation. And start to walk your hands back towards your legs. And we'll uncross the legs and plant your feet in front of you. And you can move the flesh from under your seat. We'll grab behind the knees and find length through the spine. So like you're pressing through your sits bones, feeling nice and tall through the crown of the head. Start to feel your ribs knit in through center. And we'll start to head into boat pose. So Navasana, start to lean back. Maybe your feet just hover or bring shins parallel to the ground. And option to release the arms as well. So any variation that you feel called to, but we're softening through the shoulders. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower your feet down, lower your hands behind you, and we'll lift the hips up to altar pose or reverse tabletop and find that comfortable range of motion. We'll do this a couple times. So exhale, lower the hips down, find your boat pose. Take an inhale, exhale, hands plant down, lift the hips up. So find that balance between effort and ease. So this doesn't have to be your biggest altar pose. Maybe just easing your way in. We'll do one more round. And once you sit your hips back down, we'll cross over the ankles and make your way to tabletop. So hands and knees, shoulders right over those wrists. Move through cat and cow on hands and knees. So belly drops, look forward, arch your back, tailbone up. Exhale, press your hands into the mat, draw chin to chest, tailbone points down. And you can add sensation to this flow by actively pressing your hands down into the ground as you round the spine. And as you inhale, you can have that sense of the palms of your hands dragging back toward your knees to traction your heart forward a little bit. And feel free to add Ujjayi Pranayama if you'd like to, so that slightly audible breath, that whisper-like quality to the breath, kind of like you're fogging a mirror, but lips stay pressed together. And let's start to add on, walk the hands, one hand print forward, extend the hips, kind of like we're in supported upward facing dog, and exhale, lower the hips toward the heels, toward child's pose. So a few rounds like that. And next time your hips sit toward your heels, find a pause there. So child's pose, forehead can rest down. Breathe into the space of your back body. Take a moment to appreciate maybe any of the effects of the movement so far. And next, inhale, start to lift your forehead. Keep your hips sitting back, and we'll start to sweep the hips over to the right and start to draw like a half circle as you make your way to that supported upward facing dog, and exhale, circle the hips to the left, back and down. So do that 3 times this direction. Continue to use your breath as a guide. And the next time your hips sit back, we'll reverse that direction. So sweep your hips over to the left, forward, and over to the right. And on that 3rd round, we'll sit the hips back toward child's pose again. Few rounds of breath in stillness. Maybe notice if there's any desire in the mind to escape moments of pause. If not, just observe the effects of the practice. Release tension in your eyelids, your neck, your shoulders. And next, inhale, lift up to tabletop, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, lift the hips up, and feel free to bend one knee and the other. Take your time. Movement or stillness are options. Make sure that your fingers are spread wide, knuckles are rooted down. Feel free to shake your head side to side, or maybe you're even fluttering the lips as you exhale. And start to find that stillness for the next 3 rounds of breath if you haven't already. On your next inhale, start to ripple the spine forward for plank pose. So plank on or off the knees. Start to feel that sensation of warmth. So actively press into your mat like you're pressing a wall away. Eventually, we'll lower onto the forearms for forearm plank. So next exhale, lower onto your forearms. Your forearms can be parallel, or you can draw your hands together, creating sort of a V shape or upside down V. Keep that sense of stability, especially through your shoulders, so not collapsing in the shoulders. And 2 more breaths. You might feel like you're dragging your elbows and your feet toward one another. All right, 1 more breath. Stay for the exhale. And next exhale, lower the knees down, lower all the way onto your belly, and rest your forehead on your hands. Feel free to swish your hips side to side, or maybe you're windshield wipering your shins side to side. And just a few breaths, feeling the support of the ground beneath you. On your next inhale, start to lift your forehead up and move into Sphinx pose. So elbows are right under the shoulders, forearms are parallel. There's this sense of the heart drawing forward, and maybe a little activation at the low belly so that you're not collapsing into your low back. So just a few breaths to settle in here. Keep your gaze soft. And if you'd like to layer on a little bit of core activity, feel free to join in, or you can stay still right where you are. So we'll press into the forearms, and as you exhale, start to, so think about this pose, so Sphinx pose as cat pose, and as you exhale, we'll move into cow. So press into your forearms, lift your hips, draw your tailbone down, and chin draws to chest. So sort of like we're in a weird crunch. And as you inhale, lower your thighs, lower your belly down, draw your heart forward, and maybe look forward. So we'll do that about 4 more times. So exhale, chin draws to chest, lift the hips up. Inhale, lower with control, and draw the heart forward. So move with your breath, and know that the rushing through, going slower is better. All right. Use your exhale to lift the hips. Inhale to lower the belly down. And last time. So exhale, draw chin, chest, round that tailbone down. And inhale, lower the belly down. Lower onto your belly all the way, forehead rests on your hands, and swish the hips around. Maybe windshield wiper your shins side to side. And start to bring your hands under your shoulders. We'll lift up to plank pose and downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Notice any shifts so far. And breathe into maybe the spaces on the sides of the body. And eventually look to the hands, bend the knees a lot, and take a walk forward to fold. And once you get there, you can grab your forearms. You can support yourself however you need. Maybe you have blocks under the hands or forearms are on your thighs. But feel free to sway side to side, movement or stillness. And eventually release your forearms, bend your knees a lot, and take a slow roll up. Feel free to bring hands to thighs if that support would be helpful. Head will come up last, and we'll meet in Tadasana. So just a moment to adjust here. You can lift your toes off of the ground and plant them back down, and just be aware of your footprint on the ground. And feel that same connection to earth and sky here, so the feet are rooted down, crown of the head rises to the sky. And we'll start to inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, reach your arms out and down, fold forward. Halfway lift on your inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Step your left foot back, runner's lunge, drop to the left knee, and reach your arms out and up. Rise up, Anjaneyasana. And just take a moment to find that little pulse so that you can access that point that feels interesting without being too much. So drawing pubic bone towards belly button, protecting your low back, plugging your shoulders into the sockets. One breath here. And exhale, hands plant down. Step back to plank pose. From your plank pose, we'll lower the knees down. Keep your tailbone pointing up, chest and chin lower down. And start to lower your belly all the way down. Hands right by your ribs. We'll lift the heart up for low cobra, so tops of the feet stay grounded. Exhale, lower 2 more times. Inhale, peel the heart up off of the ground. Keep looking down. Low cobra. Exhale, lower the forehead down. And last time. Inhale to lift the heart. Shoulder blades draw together. Exhale, lower. Press into the hands, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips. Press into your knuckles, lift your tailbone to the sky. And root through your right foot. We'll lift that left leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, draw knee to nose and step it through for a runner's lunge and drop to the right knee. Lift yourself all the way up, Anjaneyasana on this side, and same micro adjustments, that same little pulse until you find that interesting place. So you can lunge more forward or stay more upright, but low belly is engaged. Plug your shoulders into the sockets. One breath here. And exhale, plant your hands down. Tuck the right toes under, step forward, and fold. Halfway lift to inhale. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, circle your arms out and up. Reach up, maybe look up, and hands draw through heart center and down. Inhale, circle the arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift to inhale. Exhale, fold. That right foot steps back, runner's lunge. Drop to the right knee and rise up. Anjaneyasana, settle in. Take a breath here. And this time, let's all have the hips right over that right knee And as you inhale, we'll reach the arms up. As you exhale, you can cactus the arms and lunge a little more forward. So we'll do that 2 times. Inhale, reach up, hips are over the right knee. Exhale, cactus the arms, draw your shoulder blades together, heart is open. And last time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus the arms, lunge forward, plant your hands down, step back, plank pose, and find your flow to downward facing dog. So maybe that's knees, chest, chin to low cobra. And make your way to down dog. If chaturanga is in your practice and you were craving that, you're welcome to add that in as well. Start to root through that left foot, lift the right heel up to the sky, 3-legged dog, hips are square. Exhale, draw knee to nose, and step the right foot forward, runner's lunge. Drop the left knee down and rise up, Anjaneyasana. So same thing here on this side. We'll just start with the hips right over that left knee. Take an inhale. Exhale, lunge forward, cactus the arms, heart is open. And 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus the arms, lunge forward. And last time. Bring your hands down on that last cactus of the arms. Tuck your left toes under, step forward, and fold. Halfway lift to inhale, lengthen the spine, engage the core. Exhale, fold, press into the feet, circle the arms out and up, reach up, maybe look up, and exhale, trace the midline, hands draw through heart center and down by the sides. So a few breaths into Tadasana. Again, a moment to appreciate that transition, not needing to rush off to the next thing, just being with what is. Feel the prana moving through your body, that energy. And bring hands to heart center. And we'll prepare for chair pose, so feet either together or hip distance. Take an inhale and exhale, sit the hips back. So if you have space between your thighs, we'll squeeze the thighs toward the midline. And if you don't have space between your thighs, you're squeezing your thighs together. And just make sure that the weight is more in the heels rather than the balls of the feet. So your toes could even lift. And settle in here. If you want to add on, you can reach the arms forward and up. But keep plugging the shoulders into the sockets. And one more breath here. We'll fold forward on the exhale. Step your left foot back for runner's lunge, and this time we'll keep the knee lifted and scissor your thighs together, and maybe you're reaching your arms out. So notice the core strength required to do this, and keep that control as you lift yourself all the way up to high crescent lunge. Take an inhale. So settle in, find your balance, buoyancy in the legs. Keep drawing pubic bone to belly button. Take an inhale here, and we'll do that cactus flow here. Bend that back knee. So exhale, cactus the arms, bend that back knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. 2 more times. Cactus the arms, bend that back knee. Find this lunge, and inhale, reach the arms up. So see if you can just not change a lot about that front knee and have it be more about that back leg. All right, next time you reach the arms up for high crescent, we'll reach the arms down, step back, plank pose, and flow your way to down dog. Maybe that's knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga if you want to add that in. Downward facing dog will meet. Root through your right foot and drag that left heel up and back, 3-legged dog. As you exhale, draw knee to nose, and we'll hover shoulders over wrists. So let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Hover shoulders over wrists. And last time, 3-legged dog. Kick that left heel back. Exhale, knee to nose. Hug that thigh to your belly as you step that left foot forward. Runner's lunge. Start to scissor your thighs together and prepare to lift up. Arms can reach out and up to high crescent lunge on this side. So settle in here. Notice how it feels. Find that buoyancy, and we'll take an inhale. Feel that lift. Exhale, cactus the arms, bend the right knee. And inhale, reach up. So that right knee doesn't have to touch the ground. It'll just hover wherever feels interesting. You're up, or you can make the choice about that sensation. All right, third time. We'll inhale, reach the arms up, feel that expansion. Exhale, plant the hands down, step forward, and fold. Halfway lift to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, press into the feet, circle the arms out and up, reach up, look up, exhale, hands draw to heart center. Chair pose your way. Sit the hips back, squeeze your thighs together. Toes are light, heart draws to the thumbs. Take a breath here. And exhale, fold forward. Step that right foot back for runner's lunge. Reach your arms out and up. Press strong into your feet as you rise up. High crescent lunge. So I'm going to turn here. So high crescent lunge. Start to open it up, warrior two. So that right knife edge of the foot plants down. Reach your arms out actively. Hips are now pointing to the right side of your mat. Make sure that left knee is tracking to the pinky toe side of that foot. And maybe you're still drawing pubic bone to belly button. I know, I'm like, how many times have I said pubic bone today? Flip your palms up to the sky like you're holding two trays and tip it back. Peaceful warrior. Space through the left side body. Exhale, side angle. So 2 more times like that. Inhaling to peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle. And if you want to add some core challenge this next time, you could do the unsupported version so that low hand won't be anchoring you to any of your legs. You can just sort of flow it in front of you. After that third round, we'll meet warrior two. Settle in and cartwheel the hands down to runner's lunge. Step back, plank pose, and flow your way to downward facing dog. And I always say this part, you can always take breaks. You can always just lift your hips to down dog. A few breaths here. Start to lift that left heel up to the sky. Three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward. Runner's lunge, find a lift, find length in the spine, and step that right foot forward and fold. Halfway lift to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, press into your feet, circle the arms out and up, reach up, and exhale. Hands draw to heart center. So chair pose on this side. So take an inhale, heart into the thumbs. Exhale, sit the hips back. Chair pose. 2 more breaths. And I realized I totally just missed something. So we'll add that in on the second side. Fold forward as you exhale. And then step that left foot back, runner's lunge. All right. Start to lift yourself all the way up, high crescent lunge, and settle in. So, high crescent lunge on this side, and we'll exhale, open it up, warrior two. So that right knee tracks over to the pinky toe side of that foot. Reach your arms out actively. Keep that low belly engaged. Gaze over your right middle finger, and flip your palms to the sky. Tip it back, peaceful warrior. So same flow on this side. Feel free to move as fluidly as you want to. If already you want to try that unsupported version with the arms sort of just floating in front, you can try that. But 3 rounds with your breath. Every inhale, we tip it back. Every exhale, we move into that side angle. So after the third side angle, it's warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. Runner's lunge. Step back, plank pose, and flow your way to downward facing dog. All right, inhale, lift that right leg up to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, hover shoulders over wrists. Inhale, three-legged dog. 2 more times. Exhale, knee to nose, find that hover. And third time, three-legged dog. Exhale, hug that right thigh to your belly as you step the right foot forward, runner's lunge. Find some length in the spine. Exhale, left foot steps forward to fold. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet. Circle the arms out and up. Reach up, maybe look up. And exhale, hands draw to heart center and down. So we'll start to come to the long side of your mat. So anyone that helps you, it doesn't matter which side, whatever helps you see the screen better. And we'll just be in the middle, so you'll look kind of how I look here. And draw hands to heart center. Take a breath. And we'll either walk or heel toe the feet out to the star pose kind of shape, arms parallel to the ground. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, we'll do right foot first. So warrior two, the right knee is in front. So it's okay if you're at the back of your mat. You can just listen to my instructions. But we'll flip the palms to the sky. Tip it back, peaceful warrior. And a few breaths here. So just breathe into that right side body. Feel a little bit of evenness through the weight in your feet, even if we're tipped back. And as you exhale, find side angle. So right forearm to right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Feel that right set of ribs roll under the left. And if you'd like to, option to reach that right arm forward rather than having it on the thigh. So if you want to add in a core challenge, do that here. And when you're ready, we'll lift up warrior two. So warrior two, start to straighten that right leg. Reach the right fingertips forward and drop the right hand down. Left arm reaches up for a triangle pose. So Trikonasana here. Keep rolling the right ribs under the left. And option if you'd like to bring that left hand to your low back. And maybe that helps you feel a little bit of space through that left shoulder. Keep breathing here. All right, we'll start to lift that left arm back up if it wasn't already. Press strong into your feet, build that strength from the ground up as we make our way to warrior two. From warrior two, we're starting to cartwheel the hands down to runner's lunge, but the hands are both to the inside of that right foot. So both hands to the inside of that right foot and drop the left knee down. So we're in sort of a lizard pose here. So feel free to stay here if you want to explore this shape a little bit. If you want to add a little quad stretch for this left leg, we'll start to bend the left knee and reach the right arm forward, up, and around. And if you can catch that left foot, go ahead and do it here. And feel free to just have this sense of rotating now the left ribs under the right. So we're in a bit of a twist. And if you can't grab that left foot, that's totally fine. You can actually bring your right hand to your inner right thigh and just find that press of the thigh to find your twist. And whatever version you're taking, let's find a couple of breaths here. All right, start to bring yourself back through center if you weren't there already. And we're going to reverse our way back up to warrior two. So plant that left foot down and lift your left arm up, right arm reaches forward, and make your way to warrior two. And star pose, pivot your toes to face the same side. So maybe it was the left or right side of the mat. And exhale, hop your feet together and hands plant down. So just right away notice any differences on that right side. check out how that made your body feel. And we'll find that second side. So hands to heart center. Same thing here. We'll walk or hop the legs and arms out. And warrior two with that left knee in front. So gaze over that left middle finger. Flip the palms to the sky and tip it back. Peaceful warrior. A few breaths in stillness here. You can refine a little bit, see if your feet can both be evenly weighted as you find space through that right side body, or left side body, sorry. One more breath. And when you're ready, we'll find side angle. So find left forearm to left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. You can reach that left hand in front of you like you're holding a tray if you want to add a little bit of that core awareness. Keep the legs nice and strong and even. And one more breath here. All right, warrior two. Arms reach out. Start to straighten that left leg. Reach the left fingertips forward and drop that left hand down. Right arm reaches up. So triangle pose, Trikonasana on the other side. And option if you'd like, if you took it on the first side, we'll bring that right hand to the low back. Feel that space at the collarbones, the right shoulder. Maybe have that sense of someone pulling a string at the crown of your head, so head's not just flopping down. Nice active strength there. Ooh, all right, when you're ready, right arm reaches up. Keep pressing strong through your feet, and we'll lift all the way up, warrior two. Bend that left knee, and we'll cartwheel the hands to the inside of that left foot. So we're like in a runner's lunge, hands are on the inside of that left foot, and drop the right knee down. And option to take your lizard your way. So if you did it on the first side, we'll go ahead and bend that right knee and rainbow that left arm up and over to catch hold of that right foot or ankle. And we'll keep it as a twist here, so that sense of the right ribs rolling under the left. Feel free to add sensation by finding that pull or resistance of the hand against the foot. And if you don't have hold of your foot, you can be pressing that left thigh away. So I realize I didn't model it very well, but you can be pressing the left thigh away and still finding that twist. Okay, so let's find 2 more breaths here, wherever you're at. All right, let's release the right foot. Find your runner's lunge shape. Plant your feet down in preparation for warrior two. And start to lift that right arm up. Press strong into your feet. Use your legs as you reach up, warrior two. Star pose on the inhale. And exhale, walk or hop, feet through center and hands down by your sides. So find a seat. So we'll just kind of sit down. And if you have blocks, you might want them within arm's reach. But we'll take a slow roll down to the back. So you can reach the hands forward and slowly roll your way onto your back. And you can hug knees to chest once you get here. Give yourself a rock side to side. And just take a moment to notice any shifts, this feeling of now being on the ground. Eventually, we'll start to lower the feet down. So feet will lower down. And if you have your block and you're interested in putting it between your legs and you've done that before, feel free to do that here. If you don't have a block, we'll keep that same chair pose energy of thighs magnetizing towards center. So you can just mentally imprint that here. So knees right over the ankles. And as you inhale, we'll start to lift the tailbone up, lift the hips up. Squeeze your thighs together at the top for bridge pose. And there's options here if you want to add sensation. Isometrically drag your heels to your shoulders and just notice that activation of your hamstrings. And the glutes do have to work a bit here, but if your glutes are clenched at all, see if you can release a bit of that tension. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. So settle in, find that place that feels interesting. And when you're ready to lower down, let's take a slow roll down. So upper back, mid back, and low back. Slowly plant down. Remove your block if you had that. Heel toe your feet out as wide as your mat, and we'll windshield wiper knees side to side. So just finding that gentle sway of knees moving side to side. All right, when you're ready, heel toe your feet back through center, and we'll cross that right ankle over the left knee and find figure 4. So you can just press that right thigh away. If you're making the choice to hug that left thigh with the hands, see if you can draw the left thigh towards you without using the pull of your hands first, and then find that bind. So once you get there, hands can be behind that left thigh. That right knee keeps moving away from your face. And feel free to sway side to side. Feet are flexed. Just breathe into the space of that outer right hip. Let's find 3 deep breaths into this right side body. Keep softening your head, neck, and shoulders. Even your tailbone can be anchored on the ground. Eventually, you can start to release that left leg, lower it down, uncross the right ankle, and cross the left ankle over right knee. So figure 4 on this side. Start to draw that right thigh towards you, and you can grab hold of the right thigh with the hands, head, neck, and shoulders. Stay down. And press that left thigh away from you, just with your own hip energy, I guess. And feel free to sway. So every exhale, maybe you can soften any tension you feel arising. So typically in this pose, that can be in the face, in the jaw, the eyelids. Let's find 3 more deep breaths on this side. All right. To release, start to lower that right foot down, lower the left foot down. And with your feet on the ground, we'll scoot the hips over to the left. So lift your hips up off of the mat, scoot them to the left, and we'll drop both knees over to the right. Supine twist, knees to the right. Your arms can be out at a T, or maybe they're cactus on the ground, depending on your space. But that left shoulder just melts to the ground. And you can even look over to your left fingertips if you want to add more sensation. And see see if you can still create that roundness to the breath, drawing it all the way down to the belly, feeling that sort of ringing out at the waist as you exhale. And 2 more breaths here. Start to lift your gaze through center if it wasn't already. Knees draw through center. Lower your feet down and lift your hips, scoot them over to the right. Drop your knees to the left and supine twist, knees to the left. Right shoulder is heavy. You can look to your right fingertips. And continue to invite your breath deep down into your lungs. With every exhale, feel a little bit more imprinted on the ground, closer to the earth. And 2 more breaths. Start to bring your knees back through center, gaze through center. You can move your hips back toward the middle of your mat and hug knees to chest. And there's an option for happy baby here if you want to draw your knees to your armpits and reach for either your shins or the inner or outer parts of the feet. Feel free to do that here. Soles of the feet point to the sky. Feel free to sway side to side. And the last pose that I'll offer is bound angle pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana, so feet together, knees apart. So you can head there in your own time. If you want to explore happy baby a little longer, feel free. But otherwise, bring your soles of your feet together, knees will splay out, and choose your own distance of your feet away from your hips. So the closer your feet are to your hips, the more sensation you'll have. So find that interesting place and settle in. Option to keep your hands down by your sides, or you can have your arms up overhead, heavy on the ground above you. Allow your breath to flow all the way to your belly. Feel that expansion and heaviness and release as you exhale. Feel free to keep exploring this pose for as long as you want to. When you feel ready to make your way to Shavasana or corpse pose, bring your hands to the outside of your thighs and draw your legs together. Feel free to extend your legs long. Take your time if you're really enjoying this pose. You can stay here for several more rounds of breath. As we make our way into Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you, start to become aware of the imprint of your body on the ground. Notice your sense of heaviness. And with your next few exhales, start to let any of that residual tension in the body go, maybe as if it were being soaked up by the ground underneath you. And as we tap into this sense of stillness and quiet in the body, maybe that's also reflected in your mind and in your thoughts. Feel free to stay as you are for as long as you would like to. If and when you feel called to movement, that can start with a deep breath that fills your lungs up all the way. Maybe your continued deep breaths invite movements to the hands, feet, arms, and legs. Feel free to eventually roll on to one side where you can take a few breaths, enjoying a transition before finding your seat. And as you arrive to your seat, you'll find that same connection we've been finding to earth and sky, so heaviness through your legs and your seat, rising through the crown of your head. Take a few breaths into any of the shifts you're feeling in your body. And we'll bring hands to heart center in honor of that. You can bring to mind your intention you may have had, reflecting on that sense of releasing expectation. And we'll send that out with a single Om together. And take a full breath in. Bowing our heads to our hearts, we honor the practice we've done today. May our practice bear fruit, and may that fruit benefit all beings everywhere. I will end with thank you. Thank you for joining me today and being a part of this practice with me. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. As always, feedback is always welcome. Yeah, appreciate you both. Take care.